colon 423 get fame. That's 423 get fame. I would tell you to leave a message, but the truth is, I don't really care. I've had this hotline open for months, and not one of you jokers have what it takes to be famous like me. So leave a message if you want, but don't expect a call back. I've got way more important things to do than to waste my time on losers like Mascarita Sagrada and you all. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Hey there, folks, and welcome to the Season 2 finale of the Grave Consequences podcast. My name is Caleb Baldwin, and as always, you can follow me on Twitter at IamCalebB. That's I am Caleb, and then another B. You can follow my co-host, friend, and producer, Greg, at XMaserati. Follow the Social Suplex account, at Social Suplex. Check out everything here on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Search for it, Social Suplex Podcast Network, wherever you download your podcast. And as always, check me out every Wednesday night after AEW Dynamite on Eddie and Caleb's HeroCast. The recording date is Wednesday, December 8th, but this is going to drop on December 23rd. So as such, we want to wish you guys happy holidays, be it Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, or my personal favorite, Festivus. A happy Festivus for the rest of us. Greg, you are not out of it quite yet. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Well, as you know, I hurt my back yesterday, so I am got the medication I need. I have a herniated disc, and my friends came over and set up the standing desk that actually hurt my back when I was trying to carry it into the house. So I spent all day yesterday, like about 5 hours in excruciating pain.
Yeah,
before I get to a doctor. Yeah, I went to an urgent care. I'm gonna put it on blast, Glasgow in Delaware. And I get there and I'm like, yeah, I hurt my back. And they're like, all right, we'll schedule it at 1. I said, you know, this is a walk-in clinic, isn't it? Because I don't have insurance right now because I just switched jobs.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but we have to schedule you still, and which I took all my power in me to not curse her out because as I'm saying, like I was in excruciating pain. I was at a 7. Couldn't walk for the first hour. So, yeah, that was my day yesterday. So not a good week.
So your back pain was probably something felt similarly by the likes of the Worldwide Underground and the Lucha Friends and Prince Puma and Rey Mysterio when they realized they had to carry this show.
Well, they weren't going to succeed.
They did the best they could. Folks, this is the season 2 finale, of course, Ultima Lucha Dos Part 3. And I'm just going to come right out and say it. This was not good, quite frankly.
It was pretty. It's one of those shows where technically it's 2 segments because it bleeds into another one. Mm-hmm. This is the start of when Lucha Underground starts making some really bad booking decisions and just really bad finishes. Like just it started a little bit with Matanza's finisher, but that's not really. That's a matter of opinion. We just came to the conclusion that the Tour of the Islands isn't a very strong. It's kind of like Mark Henry's World's Greatest Slam or whatever it was.
I disagree. I like the World's Strongest Slam.
Oh, you do? Well, what about the Wade Barrett Wasteland?
Yeah, that sucks.
Okay, see, I like that one, but it's a move akin to that where very few people are going to think it's a good finish. But now we're getting to the point where they ruined 2 matches.
Well, here's the thing. A finish is one thing, but like so openly and quickly and brazenly going for man-on-woman violence in a... Look, I'm just going to say it. No one wants to see a man break a woman's arm.
Well,
like there's a reason,
psychopaths.
There is a reason in season 1 when they teased that and the crowd was just so what's the word here? Not offended, but they were very, I don't know, they were, I guess offended would be the right word.
Well, it's uncomfortable. You don't want to see someone lay hands on a woman.
Yeah.
You know, it's
especially
not
a what's the word here? In a
It's abusive. It's
yeah, and not necessarily an abusive fashion, but like you don't
predatory.
necessarily see people making preemptive strikes on women.
Yeah, it's very predatory.
Yes. Yeah.
All kinds of words we can come up with it. It's just not good.
Yeah, exactly. But before we get there, here's the thing. The opening vignette was 5 minutes long this week, and I get it. You had a whole season to recap, but look, this season was only 26 episodes long. Last season was 39, and their opening vignette was like maybe 3 minutes. Okay? So that just 5 minutes of, and I get it, you're thinking, oh, what if I have a first-time viewer? I get that, but 5 minutes of recap at the start of the show is just, it's a bit much, man.
I understand recaps for new fans, but at some point you gotta jump in the deep end. Like people need to learn how to pick up, and like, not all the time, but you don't always need to hold people's hands, like especially if you're gonna have a fuck finish to 2 of the matches.
Mm-hmm.
We need another recap about Black Lotus? I mean, the audience at the actual arena might.
Yeah.
But
because the temple doesn't have video boards.
Yeah, and I think I wasn't paying attention because I didn't. We don't need that. We don't need a recap. I think I watched a little bit of it, but I don't know. It was unnecessary, like you said. We're in the final stage of Ultima Lucha. Just go.
Yeah. Exactly. And by the way, after the opening vignette, the first thing we see is Vampiro in Tobias makeup asking Pentagon if he's ready. And then Dr. Vampiro makes Pentagon go into a cave. And then we get this like cheesy version of the do you remember the duel with all the guys in the samurai costumes in Batman Begins?
Well, here's what I compared it to, because I think we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
First, I want to say they show Vampiro at the table pouring out his pills.
Yeah.
And they showed what the prescription was, Aripiprazole, I think. I don't know how to say it, but yes, yeah, you're saying it better. It's an antipsychotic that treats schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, depression, Tourette syndrome. Whoop whoop, him saying whoop whoop all the time is Tourette. And it's also commonly linked to helping with autism. So I think Vamp just went for the fucking kitchen sinks as far as, what his doctors are going to prescribe for him. And I guess that's supposed to explain his behavior, but it just means he's a lunatic, and they're just letting him run wild. He's one of those people that thinks that thought mental disorders was cool back in the late 90s and early 2000s, and guess what? It's not.
No.
It's a debilitating issue, and if I've never liked it when people use that kind of stuff as like, oh, I'm so edgy, and it's just like, no, you're suffering. It's not the same
or
thing.
Like the I dig crazy chicks thing, like no need to say that, man.
Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about, and if you do, you're crazy.
Yeah.
But as you were saying, they go to Dagobah, where Yoda was training Luke, and they go into that swamp where Luke fights the Darth Vader that looks like him at the end.
Yeah,
that's what this was. The coolest thing though was when Pentagon went in there, he was wearing neon. He was wearing those black clothes with the neon symbols and stuff. So it was like he came from like the mid 90s. Just walked in there into a pitch black cave with evil, and he's like, oh, you know what? I'll wear neon glow in the dark attire. Like that's kind of badass, I think. Kind of brave.
We need a Spanish version of the Saved by the Bell theme song. Oh man, but yeah, look, it's Pentagon Jr. beating up a bunch of other color variations of himself, and it's all very like just cheesy, man, and not the right. Like, I don't know, like this cheese is fine in like mid-season, early season, that's fine, but like this is Ultima Lucha, man. I don't see it right now.
Well, you're right. And I was telling you on the side while I was watching it, this was something that they did this segment before they should have. They should have saved this for later, based on what happens.
Or they should have done the right thing based on and when something later happened, or Pardon me. They should have done something else later, rather.
They're basically repackaging Pentagon here. This is they're alluding to it because he's like, you need to destroy your old self. So they're gonna repackage him, but you really only want to repackage someone when they need it.
Yeah.
He's like I would say he's probably in this season, he was their top babyface. Because, Ricochet, Puma's doing his own thing, but he's not really the main eventer, even though he is.
No, Nix is, he's in the trios division.
Yeah, so it's, they I don't know, they just made a lot of bad decisions in a row for this, and we'll get to what they all are, but this could have saved Pentagon after this in the next season. They did this way too early. It didn't make any. He didn't need to be repackaged. They already repackaged him.
Yeah.
So it's wacky.
Yeah. By the way, El Conjunto Nuevo rocks us into the temple, and our first match of the night is for the Lucha Underground Trios Championship. We have got the defending champions, the incumbent Worldwide Underground of Johnny Mundo, Jack Evans, and PJ Black, against the Lucha Friends, which is consisted of Rey Fénix, Drago, and Aerostar. And this match was fun, bro. Like, I'm going to say it right now, and this is no disrespect to Puma or Mysterio. This is the highlight of the show.
Oh, you're absolutely right. This was it had something for everything, for everyone. It had flippy stuff. There was a lot of psychology, and they were all doing different things. Jack Evans was focused on pegging. He kept attacking people's asses with his. He kept putting his hand together like he's praying and just diving into people's asses. But there was also a whole element to the match where the referee was losing control, and when he got control, it was always against the baby faces. And they were telling the story of like how, well, technically that's the rules, and then Stryker will point out, well, he's technically not doing when the Rudos do it, So I actually liked it because it added some more. I don't want to say drama, but it added some more obstacles for the baby faces to get through, and I hate to put the earworm or the idea into anyone that could potentially be listening, but because they could abuse the hell of this. I know in AAA they had that referee that was a heel referee. That can get old, but the whole the ref's blind, the ref's in the way. People could do it more often, I think, to make matches a little bit more to help the babyface look strong, even if he loses, because it's not his fault.
Not in WWE, but
not in WWE.
Everywhere else, yes, you could do it a little bit more.
At the same rate that they do countouts or draws in AEW, like very rarely, but you can use it to protect somebody. It's there. It's in your pocket.
Exactly. But that being said, man, I'm going to give you a comparison here. And, I love my baseball, and I love, of course, the 2021 Atlanta Braves, your World Series champion, of course. And match, just like in sports, there are moments when you realize, like, holy shit, this didn't beat us. We're going to win this thing. And when I realized that for the Lucha Friends was when Rey Fénix takes like 1 million belt shots and 1 million kicks to the dick, and he still kicks out at 2.
Yep. He was on fire.
Yeah. And to a wrestling comparison, go back and watch Johnny Gargano, former NXT talent Johnny Gargano, against Adam Cole, former NXT talent, at TakeOver New York in 2019. And it was just like they told that story of, this is Johnny's night. Like, you can't beat him.
And the best part about this is this was a year-long story, because it started off with Jack Evans and PJ Black and Fénix. Yeah. Well, they take him out of the team, and Aerostar and Drago were with, who were they put with?
Originally? They were paired up against Black and Evans. Yeah.
Who was their third? Do you remember?
What do you mean?
It was Aerostar and Drago. Didn't they have a trio team?
In the tournament?
Yeah. Or am I misremembering that?
I want to say that would have been, because it wasn't Fénix, because they were like Dario. Exactly. Dario was like, hey, you guys fought last year. We're not doing that now. I want to say it may have been Jack Evans. In fact, I'm fairly confident it was Jack Evans.
Yes. So these teams started off mixed match in the beginning of the season, and now they separated. And they're in there. They finally have Phoenix as their third. The Technicos, and the Rudos have Johnny Mundo as their third. So it was like this was really a showdown that was shaping up the whole season. Was like, okay, let's actually have instead of having the people that can't work together on the same team, let's actually have the best against the best.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing. You remember when Johnny and the Worldwide Underground became the Trios champions. The only reason that trio existed was because Taya took Phoenix out of that trio.
Correct. Yep.
Yes. So we saw a return here, and I didn't even factor this in, because if you remember, his injury, like, it happened off screen. It happened on screen, but there wasn't like really a ride out other than like, hey, this guy's hurt, so good luck. But of all people to show up, slowly, briskly walking his way down the ring with the assistance of a crutch was Angelico. And he's back, and he attacks, and he's wailing the crap out of Johnny with this crutch.
A couple times, like 3 times, I think.
Yeah.
I think he broke one and then used the other one.
Yeah, and that crowd is just going wild for this guy. And ultimately, we get down to Phoenix and Johnny in the ring, and Phoenix closes the distance. We get a Phoenix driver, and we have new Trios champions. So, okay, here's a couple of pieces of news here. So this is our 6th reign of Trios champions here in the Temple. Here's a short history. We had Ivelisse, Angelico, and Son of Havoc, the inaugural champions. Then we had the Disciples of Death. They won it at Ultima Lucha Uno. And then earlier on this season, Ivelisse, Angelico, and Son of Havoc won those back. They would then go on to lose those in the finals of the Trios tournament to Prince Puma, Rey Mysterio, and El Dragon Azteca Jr., who lost those belts to the Worldwide Underground, who just lost them to the Lucha Friends. So, again, 6th reign of the Trios Championship. And not only that, but we have our first ever Triple Crown champion in Lucha Underground. That means they would have won the Lucha Underground Championship, the Gift of the Gods Championship, and the Trios Championship. And that honor, of course, goes to Phoenix, of all people.
King Phoenix.
Yep. El Rey. After that, folks, we had a match nobody asked for when we got El Dragon Azteca Jr. versus Black Lotus. And I'm going to say it, this match was really good.
It was. It was surprisingly well done. The one note I took here was that they didn't know what to do with Black Lotus. Yeah. Because Dragon Azteca, even though he's newish, he still had enough matches for the fans to get behind him. So the crowd, she was essentially working heel. Yeah. The whole time.
Well, here's the thing. If you really think about it, like Black Lotus, like and I've said it before, but Black Lotus to the believers in the temple, she's just an angry Asian lady.
And the bodyguard for Dario.
Because, they don't watch they're not seeing the vignettes, before they see these matches. Mm-hmm. Unless, they go between tapings and maybe they see one vignette here or there. But they're not getting the full story, is the point I'm making. But they were very receptive. And, you could say Ray Horace had to do a carry job, but that's not really the case here. Like, Lotus held her own. She didn't do bad.
Considering this is the only match I think she's ever had, really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least on television, that's confirmed.
Exactly. You're right.
But that being said, this match was good. There's one line, and I really hate it. And believe me, this time it was actually Vampiro that said it, but he dropped the equal opportunity ass whooping line. And I hate that.
Yeah.
It's very like, it's one of those, like, they're telling you, quote unquote, that this isn't offensive, but it's like, are you telling me that, or are you telling yourself that? Like, do you believe what you're saying, or are you just trying to justify it to yourself?
I think Vampiro's usually, no, he doesn't believe it, and yes, he is trying to tell it to himself.
Yeah, exactly. But it's fun because usually it's Striker that drops that equal opportunity ass whooping line or ass kicker or whatever.
It's that cornball line that the face announcer has to say when the baby face is doing something that a heel normally does.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the damnedest thing, but El Dragon Azteca is going up to the top to finish the match off when all of a sudden the Pentagon Dark, by the way, folks, that's right, he rebranded, and we gave you the kayfabe reason. The legitimate reason was because El Rey wanted something they could monetize because they didn't own the trademark to Pentagon Jr.
Mm-hmm.
In case you were not aware. Pentagon shows up. He's beaten up both competitors, and he breaks the arm of the Black Lotus. And I could hear the channels changing from various households when this happened.
Yeah, because he gave the package pile driver to
Azteca.
Yeah, and then he does the arm breaker to Black Lotus because they're trying to make him a wild. And I think in the late '90s, this would have been fine, because they were beating up women all the time.
It takes a lot of ingredients to fix or build a car, like cooking, but without the frozen dinner easy way out. eBay Motors has 122 million parts. It's always the right fitment, so you can follow any recipe to a T. Whether it's a vintage Italian coupe that's classic like Grandma's meatballs or a German luxury car that's as complicated as Oma's rouladen, to cook up something great in the garage, use the eBay Motors app or visit ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
On Attitude in Raw, but it may look cool and it may seem like, oh, he's out of control, no one can stop him. Again, this is something that should have happened after his match here tonight because of how this match here tonight ends.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, you mentioned he did break the arm of the Black Lotus. He gave the package pile driver to Azteca, but he did break his arm as well.
Oh, he did?
And by the way, Pentagon Dark cut a promo, and his new name got a mixed reaction.
Yeah, because they don't know what the hell he's talking about. I mean, I thought it was I think it was probably his best promo, but again, it's so out of. Why didn't he rebrand before? It's like the 11th hour. It's like, oh, by the way, I'm a new character.
Yeah, it's weird.
And it's like, oh, are you? Cool. What's different?
Yeah, it's like, and this is a smaller comparison, and this isn't even a complaint, but it's like when John Cena changed his theme music on the SmackDown before he first won the WWE title. It's like, wouldn't you introduce the new music at WrestleMania? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, this is something that is just a miss. This is multiple missteps in one night. Frankly, I think we've already said it. It definitely ruined it for me, the whole show.
Yeah. Pentagon is holding court when they go to break, and when we come back, Pentagon wants Matanza now. So what I guess could have been our main event is now going on third. We've got Matanza Cueto defending the Lucha Underground Championship against Pentagon Dark, and the story here is Pentagon is coming at Matanza with such a ferocity that Matanza just can't really respond.
No, it's all Pentagon, and it's because of that repackaging. Yeah. But it's never a good sign when the match that should have been or could have been the main event is like third from the top or moved closer to the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, it's dead middle in the card, technically speaking, but still.
It is dead.
And I hated the story here because it just made Vampiro look like an absolute dumbass, which, I mean, he is, but you don't really need to key in on that, I guess is what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
Because Pentagon, does he hit the Pentagon driver, I believe?
I believe. I don't remember.
It's the Pentagon driver, yeah, because he's got Matanza down. And you think he's going to go break the arm, but Vampiro stands up from the announce desk and says, no, use this. And he's got a, barbed wire bat. And it's like, why? Like, he's got the match won. He just pin him right now.
And he takes his sweet-ass time doing it, too.
Exactly. But anyway, Pentagon goes to grab the bat. And then Dario gets in the ring. Oh, by the way, real quick, just an aside. Pentagon not, going for the pin. Do you remember the scene in Austin Powers when Scott Evil is talking to his dad, and he's like, "Why don't we just shoot him together? Like we've got him right here. Why don't we just shoot him?" And Dr. Evil's like, "No, you don't get it, Scotty." Like that's the energy I get from Vampiro being like, "No, you got to use this." It's ridiculous.
It makes me not want to root for. I mean, if you're rooting for Vampiro, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I think this is kind of why Pentagon got pigeonholed as kind of like a hardcore guy when he went to TNA.
Yeah.
And he's not really a hardcore guy. If you really think about it, he just kind of got stuck in him. And they're like, "Oh, you were a disciple of Vampiro. He's stupid and he does stupid spots. You can do stupid spots." You know what I mean? Like I liked hardcore matches. I liked ECW, but you know, it doesn't make you automatically tougher because you do a hardcore match.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But anyway, like I said, Dario runs interference, and then Pentagon is going to break the arm of Dario, and he's giving up the bat. And by the way, the bat is laying right next to Matanza, for what it's worth.
This was painful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, "Oh, I'm just going to drop this bat here. I hope he doesn't use it on me." And he doesn't break the arm of the proprietor, of course. And he gets hit with the bat, and he takes Tour of the Islands, and Matanza Cueto is still the Lucha Underground World Champion.
Dude, to finish, the crowd reaction to it was just like you could just feel the energy just drain out of the crowd. It was the worst booking decision. I mean, like, if you don't want Pentagon to win the match, I don't know. It doesn't make sense on any level. If you're trying to promote him and you want to make money off of him with a new name, have him win the fucking match and become the champ.
Exactly.
It makes no sense. Every decision, like, oh, well, they might have wanted to do this. Well, if you want to do that, don't do the first thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like whoever was in charge of creative here is like, "Oh, we can't do this happy-go-lucky bullshit. We got to have as much heat as possible." I don't get it.
Yeah, it's just such a misstep on every level. It makes no sense, and it just and you gotta keep in mind, like after this ends, it's not like we got another match the next week. It's Lucha Underground goes on the shelf for like a year, almost. Right?
Well, what's funny is, so you mentioned that they actually took like 6 weeks off between the end of season 2 and the beginning of season 3, but then season 3 got split in half. So like they did 20 episodes, and then they went on as like a 6-month break, and then did the other 20. But no, between season 2 and 3, there was like maybe 6 weeks, oddly enough. But seasons 1 and 2, they were gone for like a year.
It's just it's a long time, because now that's a wet fart the audience is going to have in their head for at least 6 weeks.
Yeah,
you know, that's over a month, and that's just there's no rhyme or reason for it. There's no justification for this. And if they were going to have him get loose, they could have taken all that repackaging and done him for the next season to be like, okay, Pentagon's not going to be stupid. This could have been his failure that makes it go, oh, I can't be Pentagon anymore.
Exactly.
Now it's Pentagon Dark's failure.
Yeah.
I'm not rooting for this guy. He's an idiot.
No, he is. He's an absolute dipshit. He better do something. But after this match, Vampiro was like standing in the ring, and Pentagon just basically does Pentagon shove him, or does he just leave him in there?
He shoves him.
He does shove him, but either way, Pentagon's just done. You can tell he's done. And after this, we've got our women's match of the night. We've got Taya and Ivelisse. This has a lot of build, and I like this match, but you could tell that Taya was just a step ahead.
Taya's better wrestler. She does win, but not for the right reasons. I mean,
nope.
This is another thing where they're trying to push the wrong superstar, I think. Ivelisse is okay. You know what I mean? Like, she's okay, but like, who likes her besides a few niche fans? Like, I mean, she's just obnoxious, irritable woman. Like, oh, cool. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing cool about her.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say there's nothing cool about her, but like,
I will.
If we're talking, okay, that's fine. But if we're talking cool factor, like, I definitely put her as the second second or third coolest woman in this match.
I'd put her as the third.
But that being said, Taya gets the win because Evie's got the match won. And then the lights go out, and where the referee was about to count the 3, Katrina appears. And Katrina grabs Evie and hits her with like a front backpack stunner. Backpack driver, I guess. I don't know what you want to call the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, Katrina hits Evie with that, building on the story they've already established from earlier on in this season. That was from the season premiere, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they've had some heat since season 1, I believe.
Yeah, but actually, yeah, you're right. You're right, man. Taya hits a Northern Lights suplex and then a double foot stomp on Ivelisse, and Taya gets the win. And the lights go out. Katrina shows back up, gives Ivelisse the lick of death.
Yeah, that was the best part of the match. I don't like how they made Taya. They had to make Taya look weaker than she's looked in any of other matches to make Ivelisse look competent. And this is my rant. As I said, I wrote down. I was like, Taya was higher up in the card because of the talent she faced and the credible threat they were to her. She fought Cage, right?
Yeah.
And she took his offense, right?
Yeah.
She took it. She didn't just dodge it. Like, he didn't become a lumbering oaf swinging for like God knows what and missing every shot like they did with Ivelisse. They have to protect Ivelisse. She can't take any damage from anybody. But Taya takes everything. So they had to. I just couldn't buy the match. I'm like, okay, well, in kayfabe, Taya would destroy this girl.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. After this, we're doing a vignette for our main event, and who returned via voiceover but K-Dog. That was great, man. Can't believe I miss K-Dog, but I do.
Well, if he took his vamp with him, I would be okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I feel like the whole Pentagon thing was overbooked because of a certain individual. Because think about it. You take Vamp out of the picture. Do you have to do all that nonsense?
When you say certain individual, you mean Vampiro.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, half of that bullshit is like something Vampiro would think of.
Yeah. Yeah. The candle wax and the cane and...
Dude, in one of the segments showing how he was healing Pentagon's back, he swung the barbed wire bat at Pentagon's face to heal his back. Like, it's just stupid.
Yeah. To be fair, it was a kendo stick, but still.
I think it was the barbed wire bat. They showed like a close up of it.
Oh, okay.
Like, they showed him swinging at his face, and it was like, what the hell? How would that?
I try to like.
Right, your brain probably was protecting you.
Exactly. It was repressing that.
Yeah.
For sure. What'd you think of the back and forth of Rey Mysterio and Prince Puma? Our main event of Ultima Lucha Dos, man.
It was a great match. I loved it.
Yeah.
Like we and you talked, we think the wrong person won.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio went over, and he shouldn't have, quite frankly.
There was one, not botch, but there was one move that Mysterio did a Poison Rana, the avalanche Poison Rana from the top rope. And Puma accidentally landed on his feet, but still sold it.
Yeah. But I mean, botches here and there, that's going to happen.
I'd rather have a safe botch than an unsafe botch. So I'm okay with it. It just kind of sucked he had to sell for it. And he did. Yeah. And you wouldn't notice unless you were really paying attention. Yeah.
No, you're not wrong. But no, this was, go back and watch it. It's very good. That's as much as I'm going to say. It's very good. But still, wrong guy won.
Wrong guy. It sucks because I think I would have been more into the match if it had happened before the Pentagon nonsense.
Yeah, that's just, if we sound like our energy is drained, it's because of that match, dude. It's because of the stupid ass, like, let's rebrand him and then beat him.
Mm-hmm. Why? It's a start and stop push in the same night.
Yeah, exactly. This is Hell in a Cell 2012, and Pentagon is Ryback. Like, that's where we're at. And people may not like the comparison. I don't care. Go back and watch 2012 WWE. Listen to the reactions he was getting. Ryback was over like Rover. But married to a vision or whatever. We're headed out. Matt Stryker's given us a happy ending. No Deshaun Watson. And, and all of a sudden, Vampiro's taken out by the barbed wire bat by Pentagon. I love it.
This whole thing just seemed like a temper tantrum, and I don't know who thought it was cool, because it just seemed like cornball bullshit to me.
Here's the thing, though, dude. It's like, it's a little bit therapeutic, though, because we get to see Pentagon beat up on Vampiro again.
I would agree with you normally, but the only reason it's not is because I know Vampiro wanted to have the last spot on the show.
Oh my god!
You know what I mean? Like, he's okay with taking these barbed wire attacks,
closing the show,
because then it's all about him.
Yep.
That's why. Like, I mean, if I don't hate Vampiro as a person. I don't want him to get hurt. He's older. No. He has injuries, so I don't want him to actually get hurt.
Yeah.
But he also doesn't need to be in the spotlight. He's taking Pentagon shine.
No, yeah, you're right.
It just we went from creepy sex dungeon scenes with Pentagon and Vampiro pouring candle wax on him and hitting him with a barbed wire bat across the face, and now there's some Pentagon sucking the blood out of his forehead after doing the barbed wire. So now we're getting Vampiro's vampire cult bullshit that he's talking about all the time. So this is all screaming Vampiro, and it's all corny bullshit. It's all late 90s edgy shit. I don't care. It's not cool. I've seen better. I've seen you met in ECW was Ian and Axel Rotten, I believe they were. I saw their Taipei death match where they had the tape around their hands and they were putting it in the glass and punching each other.
Oof.
So I've seen hardcore. This is someone doing a weak ass Mick Foley impression, and I don't care for it.
Well, that's fair enough. Yeah, I don't know, man. Vampiro gets me into tizzy.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like you think it would be therapeutic, but you're asking the audience to turn on Vampiro, who's been trying to, be cool to the audience. He got all their goodwill from the match he had at the last Lucha, Ultima Lucha, right?
Yeah.
He's been in the babyface's corner the whole time. And even though it's his fault that the babyface lost, he didn't turn on Pentagon, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Pentagon's turned on him, as he rightfully should have, but it's just, I don't know.
There's a certain angle they do in season 3 that I'm interested in, because season 3 I kind of checked out, I'm not going to lie to you. So I am interested to see how they go about doing that whole angle, to be honest with you. It'll be like I'm watching for the first time, because in certain parts I will be.
I'll spoil some of it for you later.
Don't you're on air, but either way. Oh, by the way, we're heading out. The show's over.
What are you gonna rate it?
Again, by the way, Pentagon licks the blood off the face of Vampiro. That's smart. That's a great way to get hepatitis, by the way, dude.
You don't know where Vamp's been. He's been in vampire sex cults. That's really not a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
He has AIDS.
Yeah, he's got the AIDS. He's gonna go down the Thunder Gun water slide now. Either way, Dario Cueto got arrested, and that's how we close the show.
For what or why, we don't know.
Sorry, Dario Cueto in a red light and roll credits.
They didn't say why he was arrested or how, because if they arrested him for the evidence they already had,
murder.
But how did they pin it to him? Because I don't remember them ever getting any evidence.
I mean, Cisco was wearing a wire, and you could hear him get murdered.
Oh yeah, okay, you got me there.
Yeah. So I assume that's what it's for. But that being said, folks, that is Ultima Lucha Dos Part 3. That is Season 2 of Lucha Underground. I'm sorry we ended on such a downer note, but we're not going to lie to you. That would be irresponsible.
You got to rate it.
we're gonna grade this show, and I'm gonna give it a C. And buddy, if you take away the Vampiro parts of this is like a B+ episode. And I'm amending that C-. I'm going C- on this.
I'm gonna go C- too, as well, just because I don't want to give it a D because the opening match was incredible.
Yes.
The Puma and Rey Mysterio match is great.
Mm-hmm. Dude, Taya and Evie was fine. Even the Lotus and Azteca match was fine.
I was very pleased with that. Like it's this really is a case where one bad segment can ruin a whole night.
And it's not even like you put that match in a vacuum. Yeah. And until that finish, that was a really compelling story they were telling.
Yes.
Like you've got this monster who's just not even been like challenged at all since he got here. And all of a sudden someone's bringing it to him and he doesn't have a response, man.
Yeah, he got very little offense throughout the whole match. So he did not only did he stole it.
Yeah.
It was almost like a distraction roll up.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. Another real sports example here. The Iron Bowl, Auburn and Alabama from this year. Auburn came out swinging, damn near won the thing, and then just kind of lost it at the end. That's what happened here. Except Auburn didn't have some coach on the sideline giving a barbed wire bat that his players got hit with later. That didn't happen.
Yeah, this was a turd. I mean, I'm tempted to give it a D. I'm gonna give it a D.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, I'm giving it a D.
Yeah. Definitely probably our lowest rated. I guess it would depend on what we gave the first part of this Ultima Lucha, but most likely our lowest rated episode of an Ultima Lucha in all the 5 episodes we've done of that. But folks, we thank you for listening, and just know I'm not even doing the grave consequences thing. Just if you're ever in a situation and someone tries to give you a barbed wire bat in a fight, just don't even take it. Just
win the fucking match.
Just take care of business. Peace.
Gearheads know that some projects need so many parts, it feels like you need a whole storage unit just to store them. That's what eBay Motors' 122 million parts are for. Think of it as your virtual parts garage. They've always got the right fitment at the right prices. Use the eBay Motors app or visit ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.